Hey everyone, I'm going to go over week 7, lessons 2, combining like terms with area of composite figures. So composite figures is something from 7th grade and we're going to bring it into algebra, trying to find the area like we did in lesson 1, but this time we'll have multiple shapes combined. So this is going to be your lesson 2. Notice that this lesson actually only has 3 problems for you to do. Now, also notice that all the shapes here have multiple shapes combining together, and we're going to have to find the area of the shapes combined. Notice that on this assignment, you do have an answer bank to double check your work. It does have this part right here, which is an example problem, which is the problem that I will be working out on the next slide. It also talks about radius and diameter for that half circle, so make sure that you're paying attention to that. Also, another note that you really want to make sure you pay attention to is on problem number 3. There is a note because the question for that one is we're finding the area of just the shaded part. Now, if you notice, not the whole thing right there is not shaded, only a part of it. So just make sure that you double check back with that part of the note. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on that example problem. So notice the directions tell us that we're going to write an expression for the area of the figure. So first thing, I noticed that it's not just any figure, it is a composite figure. That means that there are multiple figures combined together to make one big shape. So the first shape I see is a square on the left side right here. So I'm going to just kind of outline that a little bit so we can see that. And then the other shape that I see is that triangle up at the front of it. So in the last video, I went over the area of rectangles, which is a square is a rectangle. So that area formula is going to be base times height. And then I also went over the area of triangles. So that area formula is going to be base times height, and then we also have to divide by 2. So let's start off with the area of that square first. So something that we know about squares is that they have the same side lengths all the way around. So if the base is 8x right here, that means the height also has to be 8x. So really we can write this as the base being 8x times the height also being 8x. Now, according to our distributive part, we're going to go ahead and distribute 8x, and that's going to be multiplied times 8x. We can multiply those two 8's together, so 8 times 8 is going to actually give us 64. And then according to the product rule, an x times an x is going to be x squared. So I can't combine 64 or x squared, so this is the area of just the square right there. So 64 x squared is my area. All right, let's get started on the triangle part. So on the triangle, I need to know the base and the height. So I see the base is 4. I also need the height of the triangle. Well, if I know what this side length is, because of that side, that is going to be my height. So my height over here is going to be 8x. Notice I did not take the height of the triangle from this side. That is not the correct height. Okay, so I'm going to write this as area equals my base, which is 4, times my height, which is 8x, and then I still need to divide by 2. So I'm going to, kind of like I did in the first one with the square, I'm going to use the distributive property. 4 times 8x. Well, if I multiply 4 and 8, that gives me 32x. And then I still have to divide by 2 at the end. and then 32 divided by 2 gives me 16 x's. So the area of the triangle is 16x. Now notice that both of these shapes are combined together as like one whole shape. So that means I'm also going to combine the two areas. So combining whether I'm adding or subtracting them. So the area of the full shape is 64x squared. And then I have my 16x. And since the 16x is positive, I can put the little plus sign right there. I also notice that I cannot combine these two together because the x here has an exponent of 2, the x here has an exponent of 1. So because of that, they cannot be combined. Therefore, this is going to be my final answer for the entire thing. If you have any other questions, please feel free to message me through the Google Classroom. I will also be linking other videos that could possibly help with this assignment. Make sure to pay attention to the notes and directions on this assignment. That way you can find your answer properly in the answer bank. Talk to you guys later.